Hey, this is Ahmad, and this is Jim. We know you guys have seen this new footage of Deathstroke that Ben Affleck tweeted out today. We're here to talk about it. Jim, what do you think about what we saw?
All right, so it's really curious because the first things first, no, I don't think anybody was expecting Deathstroke to kind of drop online today in this form. I thought it was very interesting footage. Is it pertaining to Justice League, or is it pertaining to Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie that he is directing and starring in? You know, the rap claims that Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, Mercenary, is going to be the villain in the standalone Batman movie. But, you know, they are currently shooting Justice League.
As you know.
As I know, I did the set visit for it, and we were both speculating that in the footage you see Deathstroke walking down what looks to be, to our eyes, it looks like kind of a cargo bay of a large plane.
Yeah, like a C-130 or something like that.
And Batman in Justice League, the mobile headquarters for the Justice League is this thing called a Flying Fox, which is basically like a giant B-52 type two-level plane.
Humongous World War II era.
And that's what the Justice League flies around in. The Wayne built it, the Wayne Enterprises folks built it for like World War II or something. So we're like, oh, do you think Deathstroke maybe shows up, has a bit part in Justice League?
Even if what we saw was the bulk of an Easter egg, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big Teen Titans fan, so seeing Deathstroke anywhere, you know, I mean, it was nice to have him in Arrow, but it's very cool to see him on screen. I can't see this being a part of the A story, just because from your set visit, it sounds like they have a very full, fleshed out and big protagonist, big kind of story.
Very cosmic. Kind of stuff, you know?
this large story, and it's kind of hard to fit in a Deathstroke. I mean, he's not a throwaway villain by any stretch of the imagination. He's not Killer Moth or somebody like that. He's somebody of interest.
Is this a scoop? Is Killer Moth in the Justice League?
Him, Croc, Shark, they're all getting together. But he seems like a character of consequence. Enough so, obviously, that they took him out of the TV universe.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could consider, my hunch is that maybe he's in the movie to maybe break out Lex Luthor somehow. You know, Lex Luthor would definitely be interested in mother boxes, as we saw in that deleted scene from BVS, and we know that the aliens and all that are after mother boxes. So maybe Deathstroke is somehow tied into that. I kind of see it as sort of, not to drag Marvel into this, but sort of the way they did Crossbones in the Captain America movies, right? Where you kind of lay the groundwork with Brock Rumlow and Winter Soldier, and then they brought in Crossbones for Civil War. Maybe we don't actually see who is actually playing Slade Wilson until if he shows up in the Batman movie. That could just be a stunt guy and he never takes off the mask.
Kind of what they did with Thanos, where they had one actor at the beginning and said, okay, we're going to go stunt cast him later and then get somebody else.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how he fleshes out in there. I think this is probably something that might have been shot, like you said, with a stunt actor and not with the actual actor. Because I know people are going to be scrutinizing the video and blowing it up. The guy is squinting in the video, so it's really hard to get a look at his eyes in it, which seems, I'm sure, was intentional.
Yeah. So I think, what I think is that the, Joe Manganiello had been rumored to be up for Suicide Squad as Deathstroke years ago.
Yeah, 2015.
You know, and I think he'd be fine for it, but I think I see them going for maybe a bigger name actor or something. I don't know. I mean, to me, it'd just be interesting if you take this character and what sort of challenge would he pose to Batman in a solo Batman movie, and why don't you go with the more sort of kind of traditional first tier kind of Bat villains for a solo Batman movie? I would imagine it's probably because they've all been done. You know?
Although you could have thrown Deadshot in there as well.
Yeah.
You know, you've portrayed him on the screen. People had a very positive reaction to him.
Yeah.
You know, that's one. Although Deathstroke is kind of in the same zip code.
Yeah.
You know, they're both hitman. He's more of a mercenary, so he does industrial espionage. He does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But I find him a strange pick for Batman, but
it
makes sense because of the physical characteristics. He's a fighter.
He kind of ties in with the way they were trying to do KG Beast in BVS with Callan Mulvey, I think is the actor's name. So he could be kind of tied in with, kind of a spycraft thing, but also, maybe there's an assassination on somebody. I don't know. I think it's curious, though, if he is the villain in a Batman movie, What do you think about them maybe then not going with somebody like a Joker or not going with a
Fine
Two-Face?
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten enough Joker for right now. And especially if you're going to do another Batman movie, I'm sure they're going to want to do 3.
Yeah.
And you can lead up to Joker. There's no reason to rush to Joker. We've seen Joker. We got 15 or so minutes of Joker in Suicide
Right.
Squad. So let's lead up to him. Let's have a couple other videos. You know, a couple
Think
other
maybe
films.
Amanda Waller sent him? Sends Deathstroke after Batman?
I like that.
Maybe he knows a little too much.
Deathstroke's the kind of person that both sides of the aisle probably have hired at one point. So,
Right.
That wouldn't be surprising in any.
Just like us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Any kind of final thoughts on what that tease means? Are we making, are fans kind of making too much out of this? Or what do you
We're
think?
always going to blow it out of proportion.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the clip was presented with no context,
Yep.
other than it was on a screen and there was some green
On
screen
Ben
stuff.
Affleck's official social media, so it's not fake.
Yeah, we know it's not fake. It looked like a guy in a suit. It's not. Didn't appear to be CG. Hopefully, as a Titans fan, I hope this opens the door to get Nightwing in a movie maybe at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Maybe bringing some of those characters in. But I think right now, just seeing him is going to have us speculating for a couple of months. If he turns out to be a very tiny part of Justice League, which I'm kind of on that kind of side of the fence of
Yeah.
right now, I'm kind of fine with that. If you're going to have some second-tier characters that just show up, as long as they're not just showing up for a gimmick like Jimmy Olsen, if
Yeah.
they're showing up as part of the story that you're going to kind of, hey, we'll get back to this guy later, I'm fine with that.
What about them kind of taking a page from Arrow and making him like sort of the man of honor that's got his code, but he's fallen?
Interesting. I mean, the way that they've gone in the TV show versus the way they've gone in the comic book, he was just unbelievably ruthless and a terrible, terrible person.
Awesome. Well, for all things DC movies, keep it here on IGN.